So, does everybody know who this is? Elton John, fantastic. Let me tell you about Elton John. Elton John does not move pianos. What do I mean by this? If Elton John is going to do a concert in a different city, about 3 months before the concert starts, his marketing team will go to that city and they'll check out what the local music scene is, what the television shows are, and what the likelihood is of Elton John selling out the biggest stadium that there is. Assuming that's successful, about 2 months before the concert, we now know when it's going to happen, his publicity team will go to the city and they will start doing radio interviews, persuading disc jockeys to play Elton John a bit more. They'll go to bars and clubs. They'll get everybody remembering what Elton John used to sing about. They will also get television companies to do interviews with Elton before the event and generally start to build the event up. That being successful, about a month before the concert, his publicity team will return again and start really hyping the event up. There'll be flyers everywhere, there'll be adverts on radio, adverts on local television, and excitement will build, and the whole event, 60, 100,000 people, hopefully it'll sell out very quickly. About a week before the concert, his production team will turn up and the roadies will start checking the lighting, checking the acoustics, the seating, what needs to be changed so that the event is perfect, bringing in the fireworks, whatever is needed. Once that's done, about 3 days before the concert, the backing singers, the dancers, they will all come and rehearse and get everything organised. The day of the concert, Elton is sitting in the green room preparing as he normally does. I don't know what he does, but he'll do what he does. And about an hour before it starts, somebody will push a piano out onto the stage. The concert will start. Elton will come out on stage, he'll sit down on the piano, start playing and singing, and there's wonderment. And about an hour, hour and a half later, there's rapturous applause, the like of which I'm going to hear from you guys when I've finished.
Yes, of course.
The concert's a big success, Elton walks off, collects his $2 million or whatever, and then once the crowd has dispersed, somebody will push the piano off the stage, and the whole process will start again in reverse and move to the next city. Here's the point. Elton does not move pianos. A roadie does. He probably does it for $10 an hour plus all he can drink. How many of you are still pushing pianos? That's my question to you. Let me take this a stage further. I'd like you to write down on your notes, because you have 5 times more chance of remembering something if you write it down, and that means with a bit of stick and papyrus, scribbling stick, you need to write A, B and C in 3 columns. And here's my challenge to you. When you get back to your office and you have a normal day, I want you to write everything you do in that day as either an A, B or C item. Now A is what's very important, the absolute thing that you should always be doing and nobody else. For me, that's client meetings, signing up proposals, although I don't do that anymore, but more of that later. Whatever is most important, making phone calls for appointments. Then B column is everything you do that should be delegated, or as I would say, outsourced. Those are all the things that you do that you don't really you shouldn't be doing at all. Filing perhaps, follow-ups, admin, emails. I don't even read my own emails now. Well, not all of them. And then your C column is everything that is absolutely a waste of your time. It's the $10 an hour jobs that you are doing instead of the $2 million an hour jobs. Making coffee, driving to the office, whatever you want to put. Now, it's not an exact science, and everybody will have a different ABC column, but I just want you to do that for a normal day. Now, the things in your C column, absolutely 100% must be outsourced. Get somebody else to do them. Your B column, you're allowed to keep 1 or 2 things. For me, that's making appointments. The reason I like to make my own appointments is because all the top guys in MDRT generally do, so who am I to question them? and also signing up applications, the actual meeting, although I don't do the paperwork anymore. Those are B things that could be delegated, but I still do it. Okay? The A things are client meetings, and that's it for me. Nothing else. Okay? So what you need to do is think about your B's and C's. C's should definitely be outsourced. B's should definitely be delegated to start with, but delegation is the present and the past. Outsourcing is the future. At the top here, you'll see a photograph of a very handsome young man and Jennifer, a beautiful lady. Now, Jen is my PA. She has been my PA for 6 years, and I've met her 4 times, including 2 weeks ago when I went to have this photograph taken just for this presentation. All my communication with my PA is by telephone, by email, or I will dictate everything into my dictation machine, take my memory stick out, put it in my laptop, it's downloaded to her computer, she does all the tasks, sends back what I need. So I don't actually need to be with her at all times. She's not in my building, she doesn't work for me, she works for a company called My PA. Now, I like the company so much, I bought into it. But here's the point. I'm no longer having to provide office space, so I'm not paying for office rent anymore. I don't have to provide a desk. I don't have to provide for her visa. I don't have to pay her salary. I don't have to pay her when I'm sick. I don't have to listen to her when she complains about her ill mother. I don't have to listen to her when her basketball team's lost. She's outsourced. In the bottom picture here, you'll see Flo, or Florence. Now, when Jennifer's away on holiday, ill, dead, whatever, I have a substitute who is equally trained up already. So it's a seamless transaction. There is no need for me to worry about this. So if you add up the entire cost of outsourcing, for me it's saved 70% of my fixed costs, because I'm no longer paying for anything except an hourly rate for Jennifer. I only pay for the work that she does. Because she's not doing so much for me at the moment because I'm here and not in Dubai, I'm not going to be paying very much this week. Does that make sense to you? Now, I'm sure if you Google outsourcing services or My PA services in your hometown, you'll find that there are companies that are already doing this. But if they don't, I can help you do that. I can do it for you from Dubai if you want, because we work 24 hours a day, and we work Sunday to Thursday, so weekends are no problem. Okay? But the only thing I can't do is provide a driver for you. I have an office manager, this is Helen. She organizes everything. I don't have to know about anything. For example, if an insurance company needs another form filling in, or something needs signing, or there's a medical needs arranging, she will organize all the PAs to do all of that. They will call my clients, and they will send my driver, Ashraf, to do all of this. Now, clients love this added value service because it shows that I'm different to all the others. And what does it cost me? It actually doesn't cost me anything, because all I'm doing is paying for Ashraf's time to drive around. He picks me up in the morning and drops me off wherever I need to be, and picks me up in the evening, takes me home, and all I'm doing is paying for his time. So think about the cost saving there. I've outsourced my driver, so I don't even need a car. Now, I've taken outsourcing a little bit to the extreme. I don't even have an office anymore. I've taken a quarter of a restaurant, which has got nice couches, soft music, Bloomberg television, and of course it's got a waiter service because it's part of a restaurant. But it's secluded enough for confidentiality so my clients can hear me very easily and nobody else can. But it's also busy enough that they can see, so it creates an energy. It's not just an empty and sterile office. So I don't even go to the office anymore. My advisors do, because that's what they feel they need. But by outsourcing all these things, not just delegating, it will save your bottom line. Now you can take this further, and I have, because the reason I like this is because it just frees up your time to do all the A jobs you need to do. not the B's and C's. And I thought, well, how would this translate to other companies? And I went to see quite a large firm of lawyers in Dubai a few months ago, and they were on 7 floors. And I got a meeting with the senior partner. I said, look, I want 10 minutes of your time, not 15, not half an hour, I'm not going to lie to you. I just want 10 minutes of your time. If you give me 10 minutes of your time, I will donate $100 to your favorite charity, $1,000, I'll buy you lunch, whatever it takes, just for your 10 minutes, if you don't think that 10 minutes is useful to you. So he said, yeah, come along. And I went and asked him, and I said, if you took all the secretaries and assistants that you got on the 7 floors and put them all on one floor, how much space would it take up? And he said, I don't know, about 1.5 floors, I suppose. And I said, right, why don't you outsource all those people to my company, and the cost would be halved, because you haven't got to pay salaries anymore, sick pay, holiday pay, visas, all this sort of thing. You haven't got to pay office rent anymore, you've saved 1.5 floors. You don't need desks, you don't need chairs, telephones, computers, and save that money. Now the trouble with lawyers is, as you all probably know, they're in the 19th century. Some of them in the 20th century, hardly any of them are in the 21st century. They don't want to let go. That's what you've got to do, you've got to let go. And what happens is, they feel the need for a secretary to be there. Even though it's the next office, they'll call, say, Florence, can you go and get me a cup of coffee? Florence, can you bring me this file? Which, as you saw from the last speaker, you don't even need files anymore, it's all digital. However, the senior manager said, okay, I'll talk to some of the young guys, because the millennials are a little bit more keen on this thing, and we did a deal. I said to them, the money that you save on all this staffing cost, give half of it as a bonus to the young guys at the end of the year, if you've saved the money, and the other half you keep for yourself. So 4 guys did, 4 of the 38 lawyers did. And at the end of the year, they got a bonus that was more than anything else that the other guys got, and in addition to the normal bonuses. The point being that these guys wanted to become my client now, because they've got all this extra money that they weren't expecting. So I picked up 4 lawyers as a client. The senior partner, I said to him, what are you doing with all this money you're saving? Are you going to buy another Lamborghini? Or why don't we invest that in your future, or your company's future, or provide more employee benefits? And guess what? The other guys, the young guys, are now talking to the older guys saying, why do you have a secretary right next door to you? Outsource it. We have, and we're saving the money. So at no cost to you, it's actually improving your bottom line directly. That's the point. So my call to action to you is, try it. And my last story is about this. Does anybody know what this is? This is the white-tailed deer from North America. There are lots and lots of them in Canada. Now the white-tailed deer is different to all other deer in that it can do 2 things that the others can't. It's only this tall, but it can jump 10 feet in the air. That's about 3 meters for everybody who does metric. But it can also jump 30 feet in one bound. That's about 10 meters for you metrics. So not only can it jump 10 feet high, but also 30 feet in one stride. So you would think that the white-tailed deer is the hardest animal to keep in a zoo, wouldn't you? But in fact, it's one of the easiest. The deer is this high, and the wall is this high. And the wall is normal thickness, it's not 30 feet thick like a castle. The reason is that a white-tailed deer will not jump as high as it can or as far as it can unless it can see where it lands. So the wall is this high, the deer is this high, it can't see the landing, so it will not jump over the wall to freedom. Why am I telling you this? Because my call to action for you is, you've got to take a leap of faith. You've got to outsource, because delegation is the present and the past, outsourcing is the future. And it will affect your bottom line in a positive way immediately at no cost, because somebody else is picking up the costs that you are now paying, which you don't need to do, just by letting go a little bit. I've got about 4 minutes for questions. Yes, sir. Okay, it's a good question. The gentleman here asked about training. When I started with my PA, I went in and trained her. Okay, I spent a day with her telling her all the things she needs to do and all the things she needs to know about to do the business that I need my way. And that's all it took. And then you start off by doing it. But I go back to Helen, and she's the office manager, and she will come to my office where my guys are and see what's happening and learn what's need to be done, and then she'll train the PAs. So that's how we do it. If there's something new, obviously, I meet up with Helen, because I meet up with her once every 2 weeks for networking, and I'll tell her this is something new, and she passes the information on. But think about it. How much training does somebody need to type? How much training does somebody need to answer a telephone call? How much training does somebody need to do filing? Really? These are trained secretaries anyway, so all they do is learn the things that you need to do in your particular business. Because my PA, we do different clients for different industries, but it's all in complete confidence. I'm the only financial advisor though. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
At what time do you recommend to start outsourcing? I'm just starting in the insurance.
Okay, the question is, at what stage of your business career should you outsource? Is that correct? I would say the day you start. Because if you get into a good habit from day one, you're not going to get into all the bad habits. Hands up anybody who's been in the business more than 10 years. Okay, so when you start in the business, are you still running a business in the same way that you were running the business before you started? It's changed a bit, hasn't it? Okay, so it will change naturally. But it's normally an office environment, would you all agree? Why? Why do you need an office? It's because that's how it's always been done. But these guys, like this guy, young guys, they're not doing that anymore. They're doing all their business, everything, on a telephone, aren't they? So why do you need an office? Choose somewhere you like to be that's comfortable, that puts your clients at ease. Why do you need an office? It's just old mentality thinking from old guys, and they're going to get left behind. But it's the point of outsourcing is it will increase your bottom line immediately. 1 minute, last question. Okay, take photographs of this. I'm happy to help you. Email me, check out my website. But this is not my PA's website, it's a separate company. But this is me. And if you contact me here, then I will know it's MDRT and I will know it's to do with outsourcing services. So even if you haven't got the service where you live, I can tell you what needs to be done to help you, and you can find the people. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, my name's Greg Poganowski. If you haven't, my name's Colin Parkin, your next speaker. Thank you.